Hear the voice of one who loves you and desires to see you grow into strength and importance, both in this county and in this country. John W. E. Thomas, 1875.
In 1860, 7,628 African Americans were living in Illinois, and more than 1,800 of them served in the U.S. military during the Civil War. Beginning in November 1863, the 29th Illinois U.S. Colored Infantry began enrolling men at Quincy. Although the 29th Illinois is the best known African American unit from Illinois, African Americans fought in a variety of units and positions during the Civil War, and at least one served in a white unit and later reached officer rank. H. Ford Douglass was born a slave in 1831. Douglass escaped, made his way to northern Illinois, and became a powerful abolitionist speaker. On July 26, 1862, when it was still illegal for African Americans to enlist in the United States Army, Douglass enlisted as a private in Company G of the 95th Regiment, Illinois Infantry Volunteers. Less than a year later, he was serving as an officer in the 10th Louisiana Regiment of African descent. Another Civil War veteran was Samuel Dalton. Dalton was born a slave in 1839 and entered the Union Navy in 1863. He was discharged at Cairo in late 1864. Sometime around 1887, he moved to Murfreesboro and bought a home. There, Dalton sought membership in the Grand Army of the Republic, a Union veterans organization, but white members denied him entry. In October 1891, Dalton and others established an African American Grand Army of the Republic post. 9 years later, they accepted the white veterans into their post after the whites-only chapter closed.
And so we're spending time in buildings like this to connect to things that are not only important to you or to me or to you, but to ideas that are morally right and that are important to the equality of citizenship that we want our country to be about. And so the larger cause that all of these places, the Old State Capitol State Historic Site, the Lincoln Home National Historic Site, all of these places have been saved to help us keep striving toward a greater equality. They're here to inspire us, really, toward that goal. You know, and behind us, we got to talk about it a little bit earlier, but behind us here on the steps, very appropriately, is a flag. It's an 1863 flag from the Civil War. It's the flag of the Illinois 95th Volunteer Regiment. That's a symbolic flag for us as an artifact because of the people who fought under it, who fought bravely under it during the Civil War. And two people in particular come to mind. One of them is a woman who disguised herself as a man so she could fight. She wasn't allowed to fight under the law, so she took it into her own hands to transform her identity so that she could fight for equality and freedom. Her name was Jenny Hodgers, but when she was fighting, she was known as Albert Cashier. And another individual who broke the law, broke a federal law, to fight under that flag is a man named H. Ford Douglass. Hezekiah Ford Douglass was an abolitionist speaker and spoke throughout the Midwest, often criticizing people like Abraham Lincoln for not being progressive enough and not doing more to end slavery immediately everywhere. So it was a life-changing moment for him when he mustered into the Illinois 95th, because the Emancipation Proclamation hadn't taken effect yet. So we broke the law. Now, we're not encouraging you to go out and break laws. But we are encouraging you to do is to find the bravery inside of yourself. And when you see something that doesn't quite line up with the larger cause of equality and citizenship, that you know that it's okay to bring that to somebody's attention. And I think after years of speaking to audiences, Hezekiah Ford Douglass believed that that was the right step to take. And because he did that, he became one of the first black officers in the United States Army.
You say you will not fight to free Negroes? Some of them seem willing to fight for you.
Abraham Lincoln, 1863.